to Black Girl Bare Minimum. If you've made your way here, you've made it to a place where Black women can just be. I'm Naja Renee.
And I'm Nellie Lynn.
We've got an exciting episode for you guys today.
So y'all better not be pressing skip.
So let's go ahead and get it started with Black Girl
Bare Minimum.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to another new episode of BG
Bare Men.
Black Girl
Bare Minimum. Y'all.
Whew, it's been a time.
It's been a time. That took a couple takes.
Oh, Lord. We're just getting started.
Woo! I've been here for a couple hours, y'all. We are still, I think that we are doing a wonderful job at improving our tech setup. We're improving how comfortable we are on the mics.
Absolutely.
I think just all in all, we're improving our engagement.
Yes.
All in all, everything is going up. But, you know, you take some steps up. The journey to freedom. No. The journey towards success is not a linear path.
It's not.
You're going to have some pitfalls. You're going to have some valleys. It's going to go up and down.
I just feel like, damn, if that motherfucker today didn't go. Like, I just plummeted.
Yeah. But we're here.
Yeah. On the up and up.
Yeah.
Coming back up.
Aside from that, how are you feeling? How are things for you? Just in a general sense.
In a general sense, I'm blessed. Happy to be here. Happy to be alive. Happy to be, thriving overall. Just, having a couple hiccups along the way.
Yeah.
Yeah. How are you doing?
I'm doing pretty good. I'm coming off of an academic high. Yesterday I was presenting some research at University of Virginia.
Ow.
So I felt, I don't know, I had my parents supporting me, so we drove down. It's like a 3.5-hour drive from Baltimore to Charlottesville. Yeah. Which I was not trying to do by myself anyway.
It doesn't even seem like it would be that far. Like 3 hours?
Yeah, because Virginia is like right there, but it's not Arlington. It's not,
not,
we like deep.
Gotcha.
Virginia.
Yeah.
So, but we didn't really get to hear a lot of other presentations at the symposium, but all in all, it was a good event. I feel like I'm becoming more confident and more able to verbalize myself on different platforms in different stages of my life, whether that be on socials, through the podcast, in school, with my research. So I felt very confident. I'm like, okay, I'm doing what I need to be doing. So
I love that.
I feel good from that.
Yes.
Which can, I guess, kind of transition me to one of the things that we want to talk about today. I'm studying public humanities, and we're doing like a community writing type class. So we're like practicing with writing a bunch of different types of things. So like op-eds, manifestos. And one of the things we had to do was a creative nonfiction project. And in that creative nonfiction project, I didn't know exactly what I wanted to write about. And low-key, I didn't really feel like writing. I didn't really have time to write. And so my professor is all about doing alternative ways of speaking to a public. And I was like, well, I do have a podcast, so that's an alternative way, low-key.
Yes.
So one of the things that I did on my like solo thing that I sent in for school was talking about hair and my hair journey personally. And I think that it would be nice if we like just took some time to talk about like our hair journeys and just natural hair, Black women hair, kind of where it has gone and how it has evolved from when we were kids to now, and then like personally, and then also in the grand scheme of like the journey, the natural hair journey or whatever. Because I think what's been interesting recently, I think when we were coming up in high school, like the natural hair journey was at its peak.
Yeah. Well,
you don't think?
I mean, I do feel like you've had a community of girlies that like just never got on the creamy crack. Like they, were natural. So I feel like there were some people when others were getting out of the hair relaxer thing, they were kind of like, what do you mean natural? Like,
oh, so maybe with my just one-sided view, I didn't even know that people were having that perspective. Because like, I felt like everybody and their mama at a certain point in high school was doing a big chop.
And see, I feel like it was kind of, I don't feel like I saw as many big chops until like maybe freshman year of college. Because I did mine freshman year of high school.
You were a trendsetter. You were one of the trendsetters.
But see, that's the thing. I wanted to do it sooner. And my mom was like, no, like, I don't want to cut all your hair off. Like, and she kept convincing me every time I would get like maybe like 4 inches of new growth. She'd be like, let's just go ahead and do it. You do your touch up. Let's just go ahead and, you know, and I'd fall for it every time, even though I was so ready to just like let it go.
Okay. So touch up for you. How long in between relaxers was it for you? Growing up.
Oh, geez. Honestly, maybe like 2 months.
Okay. Do you remember like the first time you got a relaxer?
I don't. My mom says I was maybe like 7.
Okay.
Yeah, so it was pretty early.
Yeah.
And we even went through that whole conversation of, Mom, why did you start putting relaxers in my hair in the first place? Mm-hmm. Oh my gosh, single mom, like it was hard and you got a lot of hair and yeah.
I think the conversations with my mom, well, not the single mom part, but like I think the conversations with my mom was the same type of like, you got a lot of hair and it was hard.
Yeah.
Also, I think I do sympathize because I was tender-headed as a blank. Like bad tender-headed to the point my mom might be like, why are you telling this story? But there was like when she tells a story of me being really, really young and she was washing my hair in a bathtub. But you know, now they got little cute things to keep the soap and stuff from getting in the eye because I was tender-headed and I didn't like anything in my eyes.
Okay.
So now like, you know, they got it set up.
Yeah.
But anyway, she trying to hold my hair back and I'm like kind of fighting her. And she's trying to like shampoo my hair and detangle it. And I'm like in the bathtub apparently screaming at the top of my lungs. And my dad like came in like, what's going on? Like, and she was like, you made me have to plead with my husband for a little bit that I wasn't doing nothing to you. Like obviously she didn't really have to like, but still like she said it was to the point where my dad was concerned that mommy might have been hurting me.
Oh my God.
She probably was like thinking to herself, stay in a man's place.
So your mom did the bathtub.
Yeah.
My mom did the kitchen sink.
Okay.
Yeah.
I wasn't a kitchen sink girl.
Okay. Yeah, it was hold your head under the,
Yeah.
And you were lucky if you had one of the little nozzle joints, the little pull out. Yeah, because then it was basically a shampoo bowl. But yeah.
So low key, like, I feel like my mom tried to do the best that she could because, like, she would just, like, bathe me and then, like, have me hold my hair back. And we had the shower head, obviously. So it probably shouldn't really gotten in my eyes that bad, but I was just so like fidgety and finicky and like so I'm splashing around in the tub. Oh my God. Like, and so she was like, it was a struggle. Yeah. So like I also don't remember the first time that I got a relaxer, but I just in my elementary school, years when I think back on that, like I had a relaxer. It's just like my earliest memories kind of. How did you deal with the burn?
What do you mean?
Of the relaxer.
Oh, like during?
Yeah.
Oh, I was fine. But to be fair, I was never tender-headed. Like at all. I was rolling with the punches.
So the burn didn't hurt you? Like it didn't
wasn't bad. It was
really?
more like an itch.
So you was just sitting there with it in it?
Yeah.
Maybe it was just everything was just so grandiose and dramatic in my family. I think we're all dramatic because my mother would literally go out of her way and be like, your mom did your relaxers and mine did, So I didn't go to a hair salon, but your mom was.
That's the thing, right? So my mom was a stylist, but like I really would only go to a different salon, like if I was getting braids or something. Okay. And it wasn't even because she couldn't do it. She wouldn't feel like doing that for hours. You know, she didn't like braiding. So
I didn't go to a salon until I was like in high school, I think. And barely. I think it was either high school or like freshman year of college, maybe like senior year of high school. But anyway, like my mom used to make a whole deal out of it of like, once you feel a little bit of tingle, let me know. Oh. So it was like a whole like dramatic thing. And so
no, because I'm like, it's gonna tingle after like a couple minutes. It's not a come on.
No, it would start burn. Well, maybe your mom might have been faster because she's a stylist, so maybe it was in.
I mean, because you gotta like once you start applying, you gotta be moving.
Because she was moving through every section, but like she tried to detangle it beforehand. My hair was pretty. It was long too and thick, and she kept it long because in between relaxers there wasn't a lot of manipulation happening.
Yeah. Okay.
But I don't know. She needed it more manageable.
Yeah.
But I would start feeling, I'd be like, okay, it's tingling right here. And then my mom being a bird, I remember she'd be like, oh, Lord. Like, trying to hurry up. And I would like jump out the shower, be like, it's tingling. She'd be like, run to the shower, run to the bath.
Oh my God.
It was like a dramatic. We be in that house just drama fiends.
My God.
But yeah, so it was like we would run to the bathtub, rinse it out, and she would style it, bump the ends, you know, them bumped ends. I was getting bumped ends for years.
They love them bumped ends.
What is it about the bump?
I think the idea, or at least what it seems like our parents were told, is that it's protective because
of the ends.
Yeah.
Okay.
It don't really make sense to me. It's still brushing up against whatever the same, like, you know, but I also think stylistically to them it looked better. But it didn't really appeal to me.
It might have looked less like mature to them too.
Maybe, but it was too much.
I don't know. Because when you think about it, like, well, my mom, I would get a relaxer and I would still get like plaits.
Oh, why?
Because my mom wanted me to look like cutesy young.
Okay.
So that's why I do think, like, I would get my hair flat ironed for, like, Easter with the bump.
Okay.
And then outside of that, it wasn't really, like, a lot of occasions. Even, like, birthdays, I had the plaits. Because she never sought for my hair to be bone straight.
Okay.
She wanted it more manageable and easier to detangle through.
Okay.
But she still wanted to do the little beads and and like, I feel like I was getting my hair braided like without any extra hair added in.
Yeah.
With relaxed hair.
Okay. Yeah, that wasn't my life.
Okay. So what was your style?
I was my day to day. It wasn't like bumped in every day because we weren't like applying heat every day. But it would be fresh perm, do the bumped ends, and then I'm wrapping my hair every night. You know what I mean?
Yeah, because I don't even think I was doing the wraps when I.
Oh, I was doing the wraps.
Yeah.
And I remember my mom giving me little wrap lessons. She was like, do the C shape. Make sure you comb it all down first, and then do the C shape. And she'd watch me in the mirror, make sure I'm doing it right. Oh my gosh, yeah. And then make sure you tie your hair up. You better have the scarf. You better have the bonnet. Both.
I'm trying to think. Was I wearing any of that?
Girl.
I don't even think. Well, because once I was like obsessed with flat ironing my own hair, I was trying to like wrap. I feel like you might have tried to teach me to wrap. Multiple people have tried to teach me how to wrap my hair. Yeah. And I feel like I never really got the right hang of it because it would come out and be like stiff.
Oh my God.
So I don't know. Like, it wasn't maybe middle school. I started doing having more stuff. You know what my mom would do? She would put curlers in my hair all the time.
Oh.
Even if she just flat ironed it.
Like the hard ones or like them sponge ones?
Sponge ones mainly.
Oh no, my mom hated them sponge curlers.
What's wrong with the sponge?
Personally, I think it's because when she was learning how to do hair and like in cosmetology school and all that, it was like Jerry curl era. It was a lot of them sponge rollers and whatnot. And I think she just got sick of them. She said to me, and I don't know if this is true or not, it might be one of them things that she just got used to saying that didn't really make any sense, but sponge rollers every night will damage your hair or your ends or whatever.
My hair was growing, girl.
That's the thing. So I don't know if it's true or not. I know we didn't really do the roller thing a lot.
Yeah. I mean, we'd use the hard rollers sometimes, but I think that was if I actually had my hair curled. Like, when I think back, and my mom did start buying like some satin sponge ones too.
Yeah, satin's good.
Yeah, but she would just be like, she would put like a few things in each night.
Okay.
Just so that it would like hold up, and I would put like a little bonnet over it.
I feel like I only ever really had like a roller set if it was like fresh wash, then roll my hair while it's like wet or damp and with the mousse and all that, and then I'm sitting under the dryer.
Okay.
And then we take it out after. And then to maintain, like, maybe I would do pin curls, but most of the time I'm probably just sticking a bonnet on and going to bed.
So I always sat under the dryer after.
Like, even with dry hair?
No. After washing.
Oh.
My mom always used the hooded dryer.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah, okay. And then she would blow dry after that.
Okay.
Like a comb attachment.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah, okay.
Okay.
So that was like the routine. Well, okay. The greasing of the scalp. What are your thoughts of that?
So here's the thing, because I feel like for some reason when I was relaxed, that was like a must. Like you were supposed to grease your scalp. My mom would do it. When I went natural, I stopped doing it. I didn't feel like my scalp was as dry or, you know, I didn't feel like it was a necessity. Every now and again, I might put some oil on it, but I mean, I wasn't really doing the grease no more.
Okay. Yeah. But that makes sense. So I think it was Tyler.
Okay.
One of our other friends.
Yeah.
Who, like, in high school, when I was like, yeah, my mom used to grease my scalp every night. And she's like, why is she doing that? That ain't doing nothing but clogging you something. But our hair was relaxed.
Right.
We needed to replace.
Was Tyler not getting relaxes?
Yeah, she was.
And she just wasn't doing the scalp grease?
I don't think regularly like that. Like, I don't know. Maybe it wasn't Tyler. Maybe I'm serious. She don't listen to this part anyway. But anyway, like, I don't know. Like, I remember my mom she'd be like, get a pillow. Sit down in front of me. We gonna go through and every night almost. She was using ISO Plus.
Oh,
green jar.
Not the Blue Magic.
My mom was not a Blue Magic girly like that.
Okay.
Not for greasing the scalp.
Okay.
We use Blue Magic sometimes. I mean, we would use Let's Jam for like pulling the hair back.
Really?
What? What's wrong with Let's Jam?
I was only using that jam stuff when I was getting braids, and it was always in the braiding salon, but like my mom wasn't buying that.
Oh.
Yeah.
We was using different stuff. Wait, did you have the pink hair lotion?
That was a no-no in our house. For one, I didn't like the smell of it, neither did my mom. But two, again, I feel like it stemmed from that Jerry curl era. She just didn't like it.
So you had an insider knowledge of somebody who was living in that world.
Right.
Like my mom was following the trends.
Right. Like what her family did. Yeah.
Because I'm about to say that pink lotion was in a lot of black
homes. I was not putting that in my hair. I know it was. Okay. I know it was. It wasn't in mine. It was a no-no.
I loved it. I liked it. Yeah. Those were my main like go-tos, I think. It's not like we was doing edges with the jam or nothing. Like it wasn't no edges. Like these kids nowadays need edges.
No, I had edges though. I didn't have grown ass.
I'm saying I say edges, I'm talking about doing the baby hairs type thing. I'm not saying having you did your little baby hair swoops.
It was slight, but it was like actual baby hair. Okay, like it wasn't like, you know.
I'm talking about these kids. I had edges. Hold on.
Okay.
I had edges always.
I was going to say, because my mom was big on edges. She was like, that's your detail work. You got to have this together. But like, it wasn't like drama.
I'm saying it was always just pulled back from me. Like the edges were just swoop. It was never like doing a whole.
I was about to say, it wasn't just straight. Yeah. It was like a little bit, but not like.
But you know what? I think I also have never. Once I grew up past age 5, I don't think I had no baby hairs.
Oh.
Like, I'm a BDB girl.
Stop it.
I am. It is what it is. And I come from a hairy family.
Yeah.
And so, like, my hair on the back of my neck will grow, like, towards.
Okay.
So, I, like, even now will, like, kind of do a little touch-up once a month, shaving the extra
Okay. Loop. See, my mom does that in the back. I be, like, gelling my like, I can't call them BDBs.
Right.
Because they're not like full on, but they do like curl up and they're too short to like do anything with. I will just stick them up some, like, you know, or like twirl it around my finger with a longer piece of hair and make it look like something.
Yeah, I can't. I don't have that luxury. It's like to the point where it's like nap. I hate to use the word nap because we've changed the way that we speak about our hair, but like. It will like still, even when it grows out and I haven't like touched it up and like razored it out or whatever, like I will have to go through with like a little rat tail and try to detangle that thing.
Wow.
Yeah. Huh. Hair texture is crazy.
It is crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So when did you get to the point of like, I want to experiment?
So, okay. So growing up with a mother who was a stylist, I feel like I got to dip my toe into like hair exploration pretty early. There were certain things that were like off limits. So like hair color, right? I wanted to dye my hair like as early as like 5th or 6th grade. My mom was like, no, but I'll let you get some of them little clip-in. You remember them little clip-in strips where you could get the color?
Little type 1A hair, little clip-in strips gonna blend in with.
She was helping me blend them, but you had to get the ones from the beauty supply that were human. You couldn't get the synthetic joints because there was no hope in blending them. You get the human hair one, you get her to clip it in right, and she would bump the end of that too. And then you could get a nice blend to it and it really look like I had like little pink highlights, purple highlights or whatever.
Okay.
And I could switch them out. But even still, I wasn't allowed to do that until 6th grade.
Okay.
And then it was like she started letting me get little colored braid hair or whatever mixed in with my braids, or like I could pick out what kind of beads or clips, or you know what I mean? That's the kind of exploration. And then I think I was allowed to color my hair for the first time maybe in 7th grade.
Oh, wow.
I had to like beg for it. Mm-hmm. And she let me. And I think I started with red. I've done red a couple times. Mm-hmm. But it was just on from there. It was red. It was blonde. It was orangish. And that was a learning experience. It's been blue.
Well, let's try. Orange can get...
Yeah, but it was accidental orange, not intentional orange.
Oh.
Yeah, it was like I tried to lighten my hair color and I was trying to use like not bleach, like some other kind of lightening agent. And I didn't know crap about toner, and
that's what I was about to say. You probably didn't turn or whatever that, like when you try to do blonde and you don't do that purple shampoo or whatever.
And it was very brassy. I didn't get any toner. I was just undereducated in color balancing, and
but you had to learn.
Yeah,
I was going to say that orange can get real clownish real quick.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. It was definitely the growing pains of, exploring hair.
And this was still in your relaxed hair.
Yeah. Oh. But that ended that ended
You ain't had no breakage?
No, yeah, I had breakage.
Oh
yeah. Oh. And my mom was scissor happy too, so every little thing was like, oh, we gonna have to trim it further. But I also wasn't afraid of a haircut.
Okay.
So I'm like, I'll rock a little bob, I'll rock a little, we bringing it up here, okay, like that was fine. But I also feel like it was kind of a blessing when my hair finally did get to the point of no return, because she finally let me do my big chop.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. And it was like, I had dyed my hair blue. This was actually 8th grade, right? This was like the summer of 8th grade. And I was letting my new growth grow out because I wanted a big chop. And my mom was like, no. She's like, let's let it grow out and we'll just trim along the way. So I had sick new growth, and I was just trying to use minimal heat but still trying to get it to blend. It was a mess. And I just she needed to just let me do my big chop. My hair had been blue, and then I think I dyed it black over it, trying to cover it
because you didn't like the blue.
I was just tired of it. I needed something different. And I was trying to blend hair textures, and trying to blend colors and textures was just too much. So I was like, let me just dye it all black. I used Splat hair color.
I don't even know what Splat is.
It's like CVS brand, it's just so bad. Like, never use Splat. Never use Splat. I'd use Splat hair color when I did the blue, and when I tell you, it just wasn't washing out the way I thought it would. And then when I dyed the black on top of it, I used a permanent hair dye. And then the next time, my mom talked me into getting a relaxer because I was struggling to blend the textures.
Yeah.
And literally my hair was coming out in chunks.
Oh.
Yeah. And it wasn't like, oh, I felt a burn or anything. It was like business as usual or whatever. We go back to the shampoo bowl, right? Because this was in her salon. And I remember her being like, uh-oh.
You were
and I was like,
relaxer
Mom.
at that point?
Yeah, she was rinsing out my relaxer. She was like, no, this isn't good. And then she called out to my Aunt Cindy, who was like, she was helping her in the salon at the time. And she was like, bring out the Dudley's XX. I don't remember what the name of it was. Some
we gotta go to work on this.
Right. It was some heavy duty like whatever that she kept in the back for emergencies.
Oh Lord.
But my understanding is it was kind of like, you know how people be using Olaplex today? Olaplex is a lot better than what she had at the time, but it was like her version of this big like restorative hair product for emergency color accidents or whatever.
Okay.
Yeah, so my shit was coming out in handfuls.
No, she broke the glass and got the
bring out chemical X. But whatever she put in my hair, like it helped save enough of it. And then after the fact, I wasn't even sad because I was like, okay, finally I can do my big chop. I was like, Mom, just get the clippers. Like, you know what I mean? Like I was ready. She was like, no, let's save as much of it as we can. And it was short. It was really, really short. And I feel like she was still uncomfortable with seeing me with such an adult or a mature
because it was just
hairstyle.
Really, a teeny weeny afro.
Right. Which I was fine with because I felt like, oh my gosh, I'm free, you know? And she's just, you know, adjusting or trying to adapt to it. Yeah. So immediately she's like, we got to put a weave in.
Oh.
And this is going into freshman year of high school.
Say, when I met you, I felt like you had like...
Yeah, it was weave. Yeah. It was a good one. But it was a weave. And then I had like a little teeny bit of leave out that I was like putting heat on or whatever. Kept that in for maybe like 2 months. And then I was like, Mom, we got to give it up. Like, I was like, I want to embrace my natural hair. It's grown out a little bit. Like, can you just be on board with this? And she relented, and and then it was just good from there.
So you knew to call it natural hair, like you knew that you were explicitly moving from.
And I was on YouTube like constantly at the time. So like I had done my research. I already knew products I wanted to, you know, experiment with, ways that I wanted to style my hair. Like I was already plugged in. Now, my mom wasn't on YouTube like that, you know, and this was a time where like relaxers were very common. It was most of what she was doing in her salon. So like.
But the natural hair girlies was on the come up though.
Oh, yeah.
Around that time.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, so here's my little story. I guess if we starting from middle school, I didn't really have much of a yearning to experiment much. And I think that's because I come from a family that's a little bit more conservative when it, like, liberal politically. Right. but like when it comes to like just the way they dress and like, you know, we went to church every Sunday. We had the skirts below the knee and we had we was cute though. Okay. But like our hair would be done a certain way. And also, I don't know if this made a difference too, but like I had brothers. So we weren't like talking about hair a lot, nor that it becomes something that was one of my like interests. It was just this is a maintenance that I have to do to upkeep what it should look like. And I think also because like I played sports, so I was a softball girl, and like I just needed my hair to be in a way where I can put it back in a ponytail under that cap.
Gotcha.
So I think I wasn't pressed at that time. And I think so throughout all of middle school, I feel like my picture day pictures are so cute. Like my hair was long, and I do think that there was some emphasis put on like, girl, you got such pretty long hair. Like wherever I went, I was getting compliments from like, how does your hair grow so long so quick? Blah, 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 blah.
Wow,
so like it retained a lot of length. Yeah. And I think I noticed it now that I have locks that like it's like growing quick. Yeah. Like I think my hair just does that. Because even when I cut my hair kind of short, like somebody was like, girl, you got a lot of hair. And I'm like, what are you talking about? Like a hairdresser said that, but they were like, no, you have a lot. And I think I got a big ass head. So it's like you have a lot of hair over the surface, like a lot of hair follicles. Yeah. So my hair was growing long. I was fine with it, whatever, da 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 da. Middle school was like uneventful for hair. Okay. I think it wasn't until like 9th grade, and I do think a yearning for popularity and seeing the girls in cosmetology class, and everybody at one point had that little pin curl that did that. Do you remember that?
I thought that shit was so ugly.
I thought it was so cute. I wanted it
the
back.
Little, like Superman. I was so tired of that. I was like, if y'all don't just leave that to Superman and Michael Jackson.
Stop.
Like, come on.
Get a little S curl. I wanted it. But I felt like, I don't know, they all knew how to do that little pin because they would come to school with the little pin curl too.
Oh my God.
I think I just like, I mean, I'm not this anymore. I just gotta be real. I like idolized a little bit, just the look that they had, the attention that they got from people, the spaces that they were in, and it was things that I thought I wanted at that time.
Yeah.
And so I was like, okay, hair gotta be like them. So my mom was still doing my hair regularly. She did start saying, like, soon you're gonna have to start trying to like figure out how to do your own hair, but like I'll still do your hair and relaxers and stuff. But I would wake up at like 4 a.m., 5 a.m. and flat iron my hair every morning.
Whoa.
Yeah.
Oh, no.
Yeah, I know. And I'm pretty sure my mom knew I was doing it, but like it was at that transition period where she was like, okay, start trying to do your own hair. So I think she was like, well, she's trying to do her own hair. But really, I was like, I wanted it to be bone straight.
Right.
But I didn't.
Was the look.
Yeah, and I didn't know how to wrap I don't even think I knew about the concept of wrapping hair.
Lord.
So I would just go to sleep with a little hat. I used to call it, before I even called it a bonnet, I was just calling it a hat. So I would go to sleep with the hat. And I would just wake up and flat iron again. And it was like, that is when my hair started breaking off. And obviously, like now looking back at it, and I would put my hair in ponytails and like the ends would have those little, I used to even think that was cute when girls would have a little bun and then bring the little, now I'm looking back, I'm like, that's breakage.
Right. The shit wouldn't go up in there.
Yeah. So then it got to the point where it was like, when I wanted to do my ponytails, I had to start bobby pinning the bottom up because there was so much breakage in the back. And so it's like, I was just trying to look like other people at that point. And I think it wasn't until like I used to look on YouTube and look at white girls with blonde hair doing their hair.
Girl.
And I used to be like, well, I want to do the little waterfall braid. I don't know what clicked where I was just like, girl, this ain't realistic. There was a time in 9th grade, that girl didn't stay for the whole year, but she did my hair in gym class. And it was actually cute after though. She was in cosmetology. So like, I think after that moment too, I had a little taste of, I think that's probably when I started just flat ironing my hair. I had a little taste of people giving me compliments and whatever. But yeah, so I started somehow transitioning to like actual natural hair people on YouTube. So it was like Natural 85.
Yes, shout out.
Who else? Who are the OGs of this?
Oh God.
I used to like Minnie Marley.
Yeah.
Dang. This is our BG Bearman shout out part. There was some, come on, you know the names.
There were so many.
It was one girl, she had like red hair and it was like real long and like curly.
I don't think I know that one.
Shout out to all the natural hair gurus. But anyway.
I can't think of one username.
Come on, girl.
Oh God.
I got the pictures of them.
Okay.
Oh, I used to like It's My Ray Ray too.
Yeah, but she ain't have my hair. I liked her content because like in her personality. But like I don't feel like I could watch her videos and think, okay, I can do that exact thing with my hair.
And
you
she
know?
didn't have my hair type either. And I think I was delusional at that point. I was like, oh, light skin. I can do that.
Okay.
But like I think that was still a plus for me to at least be looking at natural hair girlies because I wasn't in the right part of YouTube at all.
Yeah.
But then I was like, okay, I'm at least looking at some of them. And Jackie Aina actually used to do a couple of like natural hair stuff.
Yeah, I wasn't watching her for the natural hair stuff.
Me neither. Yeah. But I'm saying it was like a nice little. She ain't one of the gurus of the natural hair game. Beauty and makeup, she got it on lock.
Right. Oh yeah.
But yeah, so I started watching some of them, and I think I was like, okay, I want to try these Bantu knots. I want to do this. So I started like looking at them and seeing that, and I was like, okay, I'm gonna want to transition. So I was convinced that I was gonna do like a full transition at first. I wasn't even trying to big chop.
Okay.
Because my hair, probably by the time I wanted to go natural, because before it was breaking, it was down here. And by the time I wanted to go natural, it was probably like at the shoulders, kind of. because even for my senior portraits, that was relaxed, but like I went to a person to get it professionally trimmed. Or did your mama do that? She trimmed my hair one of them days.
She might have. It might have been my mama.
It might have been your mama. And that's professional. But anyway, so like my hair was like here, and it was like a cute little bob.
Mm-hmm.
But then after that, I was like, okay, I'm going to transition till I can get my natural hair all the way back to the shoulders.
Yeah.
And then it just got to a point where I was like, this is ugly. And like looking at the relaxed hair and the like.
It gets so difficult. And it's like you'll have all
with.
of this thick, glorious texture and then like stringy ends that are like just hanging on, and you're
for dear life.
Yeah.
And I was just like, one day, like, it has to go.
Yeah.
So there was a lot of emphasis put on length, because even when I had natural hair, and it started to grow a little bit, and when I got in college and was like cool with cutting it myself, that was my experimentation phase in college. Cutting, dyeing, all of those types of things. I did it all. And my mom would kind of be like, oh, can she go cutting again?
See, and that's the thing. I feel like it almost felt socially odd, like, to me, when I would be in spaces, when my hair did start to, like, grow out again, like when I was letting it grow after that first big chop. It felt weird to me when people would like say like, oh my gosh, your hair is so long, or like, you know what I mean? Like as a compliment. Cause I'm like, length was really just a thing for me. Like, you know, like my mom had short hair, but then like as I was growing up, sometimes she'd grow it out, you know, sometimes she'd have hair down, maybe not down to her butt. That was a little much for her, but like she'd have long hair. Sometimes she'd have, you know, pixie cut, like, and I loved a pixie cut moment. Like our household was like a Nia Long fan club, Halle Berry, like, you know what I mean? Like we loved a pixie cut, or like a finger wave moment, or like, you know, so just short hair appreciation all day long. Yeah. So it felt almost awkward to me that like seeing it in middle school, high school, you know, all of that, like, oh, long hair, long hair, long hair. Like I was aware that that was what people wanted and what was, you know, the trend, the thing, but I was kind of like, y'all don't know what y'all missing. And I felt like we got to college and everybody wanted to be a blonde bald head baddie, you know.
So I think I still even when I got locks, like when I was transitioning, this isn't the main reason, but one of the things that I thought about when I was like, I'm gonna lock up, was I want to see how my hair can grow in its most natural state. Like, and I think it's less of me aspiring just for the straight up length, but aspiring to see how, like, if it's just healthy and not manipulated much, how it flourishes. Less than like grow. Like I do want to see the length. These things already getting heavy, so I don't know how long I'm gonna let them get, but like. I do want to see the length, but it's not just emphasis on my hair must be long. Because I think even in the beginning, like, because I grew a little tired of just my natural hair and twist outs and like all the work that was going into that too. But I knew that I wasn't going back to relaxers, even though there's a movement. There's a movement.
I think everybody should do what works best for them. Not gonna lie, when I was trying to decide whether or not I wanted to start my lock journey, I considered relaxers as well, because I needed something that was lower maintenance for just where I am in my life right now. For me personally, I did not feel happy with my relaxed hair ever. Like it was such, I almost feel like it put me in like an identity crisis. Like I just didn't like it. I didn't like my hair at all. And I feel like since going natural and even since starting my lock journey, I've had such a better relationship with myself and my identity and my hair. Like it just, I can't. But
because I think if I was ever like going to relax again, like I would probably do it with my hair short. Here's the thing though. Because I know, like, everybody did, like, go through that phase, too. There was a phase for, like, short hair, too. I didn't really go through that much because, I mean, I did cut my hair. It was pretty short at one point, actually. It was. You know, remember when I had I had it, like, a tapered, so there was, like, some hair in the front, but it was, like, short in the back.
Yeah, okay, yeah.
It was a short period, and, like, My mom didn't like that because she said the lady that cut it too like harsh.
It was cute. But
I thought it was cute.
Mm-hmm.
But like I get what she's saying. It was like real like woo whoo a little bit. And so but I even just then my head is flat in the back. Let's just get straight to it. My head flat in the back and my head kind of big. And I love my flat big head. But I know how to frame her now. Right. And so like if I were going, I was going to say if I were going to cut it, I would want to do like go relax again. I would cut it and do like some type of short relaxed look. But it has to be cut professionally with somebody who knows how to work around different types of head. I don't got no cuff. It just goes straight down. So like somebody's got to figure out how to shape that. But yeah, so something I thought about too. I just wanted to like not really shout out, but like think about my mom when I was talking about going natural. That was something that she was like supportive of, like probably because she was like, this girl destroying her hair. So when I told her that, I didn't even realize that my mom was natural when I told her that I was about to go natural. Because I think she still kind of always maintained like the same type of hair style. And she actually went natural for like certain reasons, like medically. And I didn't even realize it because her hair had gotten real long at one point too after going natural. And I thought about it. I was like, yeah, your hair was growing. I just didn't have the knowledge of hair.
Right, yeah.
But like that was something that I like had the full support behind. And I think it was important. Like that's one thing that I really liked about when everybody was going natural, that it was just like, it felt like a community. Like it was a movement. Yeah. I don't even know if it's like still a movement. I think it's just some people natural, some people not. I don't think it's like a movement anymore, but I think that's where it was meant to go. You know? Me too. Yeah. And that was important just for Black women identity and loving themselves. Right. Now, do you think we are in the midst of a lock movement? Or have we surpassed it? Was it ever a movement?
I do think it was I don't know if I would say movement. It felt different from the natural hair movement. I feel like it was more of a trend. I'm grateful for it because I do think it increased my knowledge and awareness of locks and helped me get here. But I do think for like a good couple of years and maybe even still now, it's just been trendy to get locks. But I feel like I've been seeing more and more now some of those people that hopped on the trend combing out their locks and, you know. Which is fine. There's nothing wrong with that. You know, we go through different seasons as people. Maybe it worked for you then. Maybe it doesn't work anymore. That's fine. It's a hairstyle like any other hairstyle. Yeah. But I mean, it didn't feel like freedom or like a community awakening this time around. But maybe it's because we were transitioning from a natural state into a different type of natural state.
Yeah, so we're already here. Because you're like, it definitely didn't feel like a community awakening. Right. For me personally, it does feel freeing. I really enjoy, because I think one of the things that came with the natural hair movement was people feeling like the natural hair still needed to be manipulated.
Right. Which there were some problems, some kinks that we had to work out. But I felt like in the beginning, like there weren't even like product lines and things dedicated. Yeah. Like, you know what I mean? Like we had, along with the natural hair awakening or the natural hair movement, like the rise of Shea Moisture and As I Am. And you know what I mean? These brands were coming up with us because now there was a demand. We were creating the demand, you know, versus there weren't products catered to our hair types because there was no demand. We weren't creating the demand. We weren't embracing it at all.
And, you know, that's why I think locks are freeing, because you can't even add no capitalistic consumerism part to it, because this shit don't really need nothing. Like, it don't need much. I wake up in the morning, like, obviously I will still tie my hair down. I'll still put something on it. I'll still get my regular maintenance, make sure that it don't feel too dry or whatever. But like, in the grand scheme of things, there's less that you really have to do to apply to it in order for it to remain healthy.
Right.
Because natural loose hair did need certain, now there was less need for like greasing your scalp, but like you did have to make sure the ends were moisturized. They tangled up real quick. So like there were those types of things. Mine was tangling, girl. My hair was tangled.
I had my routine. As long as I stuck with my routine, I knew what to expect from my natural hair.
And people was doing the Aztec clay. They was doing
I wasn't doing all that.
I was trying to do all the now those were trends.
I would put Aztec clay on my face.
I tried that too because I had the acne.
Yeah. I might do a protein treatment if I needed it, repairing from color damage.
Did you ever do the protein treatment with the egg and the mayonnaise?
Yeah, but that was like middle school me. That wasn't like...
That's what I'm saying. That's what I was on. And like, I was in there frying eggs in my hair. Eggs was in there because I didn't read up on the don't use hot water. I'm in there trying to take eggs out my hair.
Oh.
But I mean, I don't think it's necessarily a bad thing that like there was people who wanted to still manipulate their natural hair. But I do think that this is not at the core of what the movement was, but I do think some people who like maybe came on it as a trend were kind of perpetuating some of those ideologies around like, oh, her hair not even done. Oh, she don't got no fresh twist out.
Right. And it's like, whoa. Just because it's not the most defined curl,
right,
does not mean it's wrong, does not mean it's bad, does not mean it's unkempt. Like it's just people came out trying to police natural hair, and it's like, hold up.
Yeah, like shout out Lipstick on Instagram on TikTok. You remember her? Or Lip Gloss. What was her name?
I don't know if I know.
There was this girl on TikTok who would be like, this is day one of letting my natural hair do what the natural hair do. And so like she didn't really, like, she would just spray water and she wouldn't really do much to it, and it would just be a little fro or whatever.
I don't know if that made it to my side of the internet.
Okay. It was like she was in here and out of here because people were in her comments trifling.
Wow.
Telling her that she needed to do her hair a certain type of way. Like, because she talked about that and she talked about colorism a lot. Yeah. And they, like, got her up.
Because that is a part of it. That is a big part of it. Yeah.
They got her up out of here.
Yep.
But good she got out of here for her own mental health. Because some people still be trying to, like,
protect your peace.
Yeah, honestly. But, yeah, lock dirty is freedom for me. Yeah. Right now, I'm very happy about my locks. I do think I'm going to, like, cut this blonde out at some point, and I think I got blessed that all the dyeing that I was doing faded to a reasonable blonde that like doesn't look crazy, because it could have been bad. Like the dark brown roots are like getting longer, so like it irks me a little bit sometimes, but not really. Like and that's the thing about, I feel like a lot of the weight of like needing to fit into certain expectations with my locks is like out the window. That
is freeing.
Yeah. Anything else about hair?
Girl, I feel like I could talk forever about hair. I have so many like horror stories.
Give me
I do.
What is your craziest hair horror story?
Probably when my hair was falling out in chunks.
Oh yeah. Okay, so you already told that.
But honorable mention, because it did happen again, not as dramatically. I went to a Dominican salon.
Oh, I never made it up in there because people used to try to tell me, go to the Dominicans.
Yeah.
I couldn't do it.
When I was relaxed and I went to a Dominican salon like maybe twice, I'd come out, my was laid. Like this was silk press before they started popularizing the silk press. Like I felt like Cat Williams. Like I was so... my shit was together, you know? And it would stay like that for like a good 2 weeks, you know? Now, this was me going to a Dominican salon that I found on like Style Seat by myself. So not someone that my mom knew or recommended or whatever. This is me independently going as a young adult. Boom. I go there. This was all also early amidst, I don't know if you were seeing content about people saying they mixing relaxers in the conditioner.
I did see that.
This was early in that.
Okay.
I'm seeing this stuff online, right? Maybe 1 or 2 videos at the time, not with the stylist that I went to, not at the salon that I went to, you know, not related to this person or even my zip code or anything like that, right? So I'm thinking, oh, that's crazy. I can't believe people would do that, whatever.
Right.
I suspect that is what happened to me, but whatever. I go there. She does my hair, laid. Love it, whatever. 2 weeks go by, my stuff is still laid, right? I'm starting to get a little suspicious. I'm natural at this point. Mm-hmm. I'm starting to get a little suspicious because I've worked out. I had gotten caught in the rain, not without a hood, but even still, like humidity, Maryland humidity.
Yeah.
And it's not frizzing at all. It's not, fishy. You know, I'm starting to get a little suspicious. The only like texture that I'm seeing with my hair at all is like as the hair that's growing from the root, like my new growth. So I'm getting a little, 2 weeks go by. I'm like, okay, my shit is still laid like it was day one, minus this little bit of new growth.
Yeah.
I miss my curls. Let me get in the shower. I'm gonna do my curly routine. Mm-hmm. I'm expecting the water to hit my hair and for my texture to come out. It's still straight.
Oh, wow.
And here's where it got worse. Stuff starts falling out. So it's not even like, okay, this is just a bad case of heat damage.
Yeah.
My stuff is falling out.
Oh, my gosh.
I call her. Of course, she pulls the, girl, it's been 2 weeks. That didn't happen here. No, like, you might have had something in your hair before you came to me. You washed my hair. Mm-hmm. You, like, anything that I would have had in my hair before I came to you, like, it would, whatever. So we go back and forth. Yeah. Pointless. I disputed the charge on my account, whatever. But, yeah, so that was just a...
Yeah.
And it kind of led to me being, I don't know, my trust issues with stylists that weren't my mother. Or at least anybody that was going to have to put any sort of like chemical in my hair. I was still good with like getting my hair braided or getting like a weave put in, whatever. But anybody that was going to have to put any type of, we go into the shampoo bowl product, it just made me a little uneasy, you know? Yeah. And that was the last time I ever went to a Dominican salon. Like, I obviously, like, I'm not going now.
Yeah. Because I think by the time that I, like, even heard about the Dominicans, like, first I didn't go to salons growing up, like I said. But then, like, by the time people were like, oh, just go to the Dominicans, I had already started hearing some stories. I was like, I don't know if I'm going to subject myself to that.
It was great. While it lasted.
That was a good little 2 weeks.
But that was the only time. Obviously, I'm never going back. I'm never going to I'm just not personally. I'm never going back to a Dominican salon. Yeah. But that was the only negative experience I ever had. Like, you know what I mean? Like, as a kid, I'd gone a handful of times. Never had that be the case. It's just that time ruined it for me. I'm never. Yeah. Never, ever, ever.
Yeah. I used to be so fearful of, like, heat damage.
Really?
Because I think I was cared about this retaining this length.
You can still retain length with heat damage. Because some people just call it heat training. Some people do that shit on purpose.
Yeah, like, come on, let's break it down. Heat training, what is it?
It's the same shit.
It's heat damage.
It's about whatever look you're trying to have for your hair. If you're someone that embraces your curls.
At that point, I'll be like, just relax.
Right. Well.
No.
No.
Don't put the chemical. It's the chemicals.
Yeah. That relaxer is killing brains.
Oh, you think?
It is. It's
really
a very strong chemical. But I mean, the same can be said about like hair bleach, getting it too close to your scalp. It's all very, very, very powerful chemicals that, you know, we just accept the risks with. But there are a lot of risks. Yeah. You know?
Yeah. I think moving forward with my hair, it's just certain things that I'm just not going to do anymore. I think, I don't know how long I'll have locks. I don't know if it's a forever thing for me. But I mean, I'm enjoying it right now. I'm not like, it's really just so free. And I'm like, look, it's just my hair. I wake up and
shake your dread. Well, I don't really like
calling them dreads. No, because I don't have an issue with the whole dread. Can we talk about it?
Yeah.
How do we feel about the terms locks versus dreads?
Love locks. I don't like when people call them dread. Now, when I'm in the club, which isn't often, when I'm there and I'm hearing shake your dread, I'm in it. Yeah, I'm shaking them. But like conversation, like don't say.
So I think for me, I revert to locks like that, or I default to saying locks. Mm-hmm. And a lot of people in our generation, like around our age, are gonna say locks. When I get a compliment from somebody who's like older, is like, I love your dreads. It's just like, oh, thank you. Like, I don't really care that much. Like, I understand the whole like they're not dreadful or whatever. Mm-hmm. But like, I don't know. I'm just not one of those people too who be like, oh, I like your dreads. They're locks. Thanks. That's just not me.
If it's just a one, you've said it once and we're not having a full on conversation about it. Like you're just like you're complimenting my hair or whatever. I'm not going to take the time out of, the day to sit here and explain to you why that's problematic or why I'm, whatever. I'm just going to take the compliment and go. Mm-hmm. But if you've said it more than like twice in the conversation, and at this point we're talking about it, then I'm gonna mention, maybe you should consider.
So for me, locks. I think it only matters when it's like somebody that I'm going to be talking to forever, like a family member, or like, and like if I've defaulted to referring to them as locks, I think typically like everybody that I know that I talk to on a regular basis calls them locks too. Yeah. I do. I don't know. It personally doesn't bother me. So if it bothers people, like, okay, correct them. Like, honestly, people, there is a way to politely correct. Like you said, like, I don't like the like snappy. Some people just do that with anything. That's just who those people are when they do that. But like I don't know. Sometimes I feel like I'm like. I don't know, because like back in the day before we cared or what we called them, like people called them dreads.
I wasn't, but again, I like grew up in the salon. So like I had already heard, before I embarked on my lock journey, I had already heard, there's nothing dreadful about them. Don't,
okay.
So I had already corrected myself in, and not using that.
And I feel like it's more so men that will say dreads.
Yeah, well.
At least the ones okay.
I do think it's a little bit generational as well.
Yeah.
But our generation and younger, they don't tend to have the same, associations.
Right.
Right. So that's where I'm like, I should say something because maybe that individual doesn't, have those negative associations. Yeah. But they're saying something that is associated with those things.
Yeah.
So,
I think for me, the only time, it's probably like the N-word for me. And
where you going with
that? I'll explain it. I will say, like, somebody who's black can call me their nigga. If I'm having a conversation with a white person, don't ever mention these as dreads. That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm trying to say.
Okay. I thought, okay.
What did you think I was trying to say?
Well, because you were saying that, like, you don't always feel like you need to correct people when they say dread. I thought you were saying the same thing about usage of the N-word. Okay, that's why my reaction was like that. Because I'm like, where are you going with this?
I'm saying, like, so within the black community, if the word dread comes up, I'm like, okay. It's just like within the black community, if the N-word comes up, I'm like, okay.
But I will say, even within the black community, there are still members of the black community that feel like people that have locks are, that they're less professional looking, that they're less likely to be employed in certain positions.
Yeah.
And, like it just...
And those type of people are not going to be interfacing with me or talking to me about them.
Yeah.
So I don't think I have... Like, anybody who has talked to me about them has had good intentions behind it. Mm-hmm. I don't even think I've been in a place where a white person... I think they have complimented my hair by just saying, I like your hair now. Like,
they think it's so braids.
They
think it's braids. If I had a nickel,
honestly,
oh my God, I love your braids. I just say thank you.
Yeah,
that's one thing I don't like because they don't. It's so much because I've tried before and the conversation ended up being way longer than I meant for it to be. For that reason, I don't go into it in those cases. But it's always I love your braids. Mm-hmm. Like it's just thank you.
Yeah. And that's what any white compliment sometimes anyway. Like it's It's well intentioned.
A lot of the time.
A lot of the time. But
it's not always, but yeah.
You
right.
can decipher when it is or when it isn't.
Yeah.
Yeah. But ultimately, I feel like I've brought you over to the good side of having locks because you transitioned about a year after me, and you're welcome. Because we were both mini twisting.
Right.
And I'm like, girl, lock up. That's what happened to me. The mini twist to lock, I just fell right into it.
I got to the point where I was trying to leave my mini twist in for like a good month because I just didn't. I feel like, one, I felt like I was kind of getting into a bit of a rut with my hair. But two, I just feel like stuff in life was just picking up to a point where I'm like, I'm not giving my hair the TLC that I used to be able to give it. I'm exhausted. Like, I need something where, like, when I have the time to give to it, I can do that. But I need something that's going to look the way I need it to look or the way I can expect it to look on a regular basis without me having to put too much into it.
Yeah. I get that.
I used to spend so many manpower, just whatever.
I thought you was going to say money because I was spending that too.
So to be honest, I was a pretty like low maintenance product wise natural, but I would like do my twist outs. If I wanted more definition, I would retwist throughout the week. So I wasn't one that would, do the twist out and just let it go for the whole week. I was retwisting throughout the week. I would do that and then not check the weather and see that it's raining the next day. And then the definition that I think I would have the next day, my hair just wouldn't agree with me in the morning because it's raining outside.
Oh, okay,
not even because I got caught in the rain, but it's wet outside. That used to piss me off so bad. It still pisses me off. Residual piss offness.
Just take it back.
Yeah.
But yeah, we could keep, like you said, going on and on about hair. I'm thinking about other topics, but we should probably start wrapping up. I know we kind of shouted out some black women as we went along.
Yes.
And I think one of the things that we haven't been doing is like really engaging with some people who have engaged with us. So we want y'all to engage more. It hadn't been a lot of y'all, but some people have been engaging with us, and I've been missing comments on a couple of videos. So I kind of wanted to take the time out and kind of shout out some of these comments that we got on our last few videos.
We appreciate y'all.
So on our dating pool, the dating pool might be tainted episode with what? With Kyla. We got a few comments. I'll name out some of them. One of them is from @ERK1N_BKN. Erican Beacon. Whatever. Erkin Birkin. Regardless, they brought up a good I'll just read their comment. They said, date my age, has a great match system. That's how I found my pottery making buddy. Oh. So I'm going to look into that. Yeah. I did pottery once.
Pottery's fun.
I loved it. I want to do it again. And then seeing your little creation. Yeah. That sounds like something like, so they found their pottery making buddy. So it sounds like you can find friends and find people to date. So I'm going to look into that.
Get a little keepsake.
Yeah. We also got a comment from @NotChristy. Hey, girl.
It didn't click right away.
That's the homegirl.
Hey,
but she said, also, as a single woman who works in a women-dominated industry as well, I'd be so surprised when I hear people have met their significant other at work. I feel the same way because I'm in and out. Well, first, now I'm remote, so I'm not even in. But, like, I'd be like, damn, how'd y'all find the time to really do this? We got another comment from...
Oh, Lord.
@JaleLineo6944. We read this before we came on. We won't read the whole thing here because it's quite long. But we appreciate you commenting and listening to the whole episode and giving your thoughts. One of the things that they talked about was, girl, I don't even know how to pull out key things in here. Girl, just thank you for the comment. We appreciate. I will try to reply. Just personally through the BG Bearman page, but we appreciate you taking the time out to leave a thoughtful response.
Absolutely. And for watching the video.
Yes. We also got a comment on our self-care, self-love, and Black History Month 2025 episode from @CaitlinBrown17. I enjoy this podcast so much. The saying we're not going to talk about it and then proceeding to talk about it is top tier yapping. That's all we do is going to yap.
I mean, yeah.
We're S tier yappers. Thank you so much for the comment, girl, and for always engaging. We be seeing you on Instagram. So make sure y'all engage with us, leave comments, and you might get your comment read. But we're going to try to be more intentional about engaging back with y'all. So also make sure that you check out our Discord, which is in our Instagram bios. Should be in the bio of this. Hopefully there will be more opportunities for engagement there too. Y'all can start chatting in there just on your own too. You don't need us to chat. Start chatting in the Discord if you see something that the Black Girl Bare Minimum fam might be interested in seeing. Yes. Any final thoughts?
Girl.
Okay.
I feel like we've yapped aplenty.
It's time for dinner.
It is.
Well, thanks y'all so much for tuning in on this episode of Black Girl
Bare Men.
Follow us on everything. And what's that little sing song? Follow us on everything, y'all. Engage. And we love y'all so much. And stay tuned for more from us in the future.
Woo-hoo.
See ya.
BG Beerman out.